Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 3, which is entitled as Karma Yoga. Sloka 34. Indriyasyendriyasyārthe rāga-dveṣau vyavasthitau tayor vaśam āgacchet asya paripanthinau. So, we can still understand this by taking another example. A child cries when the feeding bottle, a milk bottle, is pulled out of its mouth. And it stays quiet, it calms down when we place the milk bottle back into its mouth. The baby is just born, new baby. Never went into any training after it was born, how to cry and how to smile and what it means to be hungry. None of those things went through. But it does cry, it does smile. So this is all carried by the vasanas from several lives, which is a result of this child to cry and smile. And this is because of raga and dveṣau, which is induced by the vasanas. In the sloka, indriyasyendriyasyārthe, 2 times indriya, and is mentioned, arthe has been mentioned. Indriyas means senses. So, the vasanas makes use of these senses, indriyas, jnana indriya and karma indriyas. The knowledge acquiring senses and the working senses. The jnana indriyas are 5: ear, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. And their respective objects are shabda, rupa, gandha, rasa, sparsha. Let's see this one. What the ear needs is shabda, sound. What eyes needs is rupa, a form. What nose needs is gandha, smell. What tongue needs is rasa, taste. And what the skin needs is sparsha, touch. The ears get satisfied by hearing some nice sounds. The eyes get satisfied by seeing beautiful forms. The nose gets satisfied by smelling nice fragrance. The tongue gets its satisfaction by tasting something nice. And also one extra thing, it also gets its satisfaction talking ill and gossiping about others. And the skin gets its satisfaction by touching something soft. So, the first 5 are covered by this indriyas, jnana indriyas, that Krishna mentioned. And the second indriya that's been mentioned in the sloka is about the karma indriya, vak, pani, pada, payu, upastham, which is the mouth, hands, legs, and the 2 indriyas to discharge the waste from the body. So, vak, speech, hands to lift things, legs to walk, payu, upastham, the holes in the body that used for passing or discharging the waste products out of the body. And in that one sense is used for short-lived sense enjoyment as well. So when the eye wants to see something, it is raga. When that gets interrupted, it is dveṣau. Likewise, when the ear wants to hear something, it is raga. When that gets interrupted, it is dveṣau. And this is exactly how each and every senses works between raga and dveṣau. Therefore, these rāga and dveṣau are unconquerable enemies. Navasam āgacchet. Therefore, don't get caught up into this, or don't go into that path. Now, to summarize, the sense organs that we have, like eye, ear, nose, etc., have a compulsive attraction towards form, sound, smell, so forth. This desire is due to the subtle impression the vasanas created over the period of the time, which is very hard to, there's no beginning for this one. When obstacles arise in experiencing the desired objects, hatred is generated. Unavoidably, the hatred is generated. Therefore, instead of taking up on jnana yoga and getting into harm under the sway of the unconquerable enemies, that is attraction and aversion, raga and dvesha, it is far superior for one to follow karma yoga and attain the self. That is what is message. That's the message has been given over here. And this is because we are accustomed to actions in our day-to-day life. Karma yoga is similar, and hence without the possibility of compulsion of attraction, aversion. These two rāga-dveṣau are enemies of a person desiring for perfection in life, to attain Atma Darshana, Paramatma Darshana or Moksha. They are the real enemies. So this sloka is not to direct people into jnana yoga, saying that raga and dvesha should be given up and therefore you can perform jnana yoga. That is not the idea, as it might appear so. It is to be aware of these enemies present in the path, in our path. So Krishna advises us not to get caught into that path, but be safe by performing the karma yoga, that path, karma yoga path. When one is starting to practice in jnana yoga, these two enemies through vasanas will try to pull the person back all the time. That's the reason Krishna is saying to be away from that. Well, there might be a question arising that rāga-dveṣau, are these raga and dvesha not present in the path of karma yoga? So the answer is no, it is present everywhere. There is no path that is free of these enemies. It's going to be there. So the question is, how do we deal those enemies? In karma yoga is easier compared to dealing those enemies in jnana yoga. In karma yoga, when one does the karma yoga, if one does them, the karma yoga, with those three principles as their guidelines, I am not the doer, I am not the proprietor, I do not expect anything in return. When we work on this consciousness, these enemies will have no effect on us. Whereas in jnana yoga, which is a nivritti marga, as they have given up the karma yoga, there are not much of chances for them to deal these enemies. Whereas in karma yoga, it's full of action. Therefore, while doing the action, when we do the action with these three principles, these enemies will not touch us. Whereas in jnana yoga, there is no action, as per this, what we are seeing now. Since there is no action, there won't be much ways for one to deal this raga and dvesha. And therefore, the raga and dvesha is going to impact us. So one might argue that I don't care about these senses. One was wanting to follow the jnana yoga might say that I don't care about the senses, as I don't deal with the senses and the sense object, as I only deal with mind, because I'm only meditating. with my mind? The answer is, mind is also one of the senses. In fact, mind is the chief of all senses. When the senses are wandering, even if one sense wander out of control, the mind will be pulled. Hence, the mind will not be under control. And therefore, when the mind is out of control, this person is not going to think about the Atma. And that is what has been discussed over here in this sloka. Indriyasyendriyasyārthe rāga-dveṣau vyavasthitau tayor vaśam āgacchet tau paripanthinau. Namaste. Hare Krishna.